What's up, Tweener Heads? Welcome back to another Tweener Head tennis interview here today with Dalma Galfi. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for inviting.
I really appreciate this, especially in this time. It must be very hard for you to kind of understand what's going on because everyone's kind of in chaos right now. How are you dealing with this to start?
Well, actually, it's a tough time, as you said. I'm staying at home most of the time, trying to not go anywhere where are a lot of people, like everybody else does. And, well, I'm just waiting for some more information about, like, tournaments upcoming and the process going on. So we're just sitting and waiting for a moment.
And how have you been, you said you've been receiving emails and like that. Has that been helping you a lot, or have they been keeping you up to date with everything that's going on, and what's been happening there?
I mean, we're getting a lot of emails from WTA and ITF, so we know about the stuff they're dealing with, and they really try to inform us in the best possible ways. So that's helpful, but we don't know like everything. So there are a lot of question marks still.
So what's one question that you might have for the WTA that you want to be answered?
They already told us in the emails that they're working on the rankings and how they're gonna deal with the points that we have to defend, or are we gonna lose it? And they're still just told us that they're working on it. They're having meetings and stuff, so we don't know anything about that yet. That's what probably all the players are thinking about right now.
And you're at home, right?
Yeah, I'm in Hungary.
Have you gone insane yet?
I will be soon.
Okay.
I mean, staying at home is not what we do. Like, it's the worst possible thing for a tennis player who is always traveling, always abroad, and that's our life. So it's really weird, like, staying at one place for such a long time.
So what has been the biggest transition for you to stay at home?
That's a tough question.
Is it?
I mean, what do you mean by this question?
Like, you said you travel a lot and coming home, and you're not used to staying home a lot. So what would you say is the toughest thing going from traveling to staying at home? What's the biggest difference, I would say? Or what have you found most difficult staying in one place for a long time?
Boredom. I mean, there is not much to do at home.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can agree in that. So I'm trying to figure out what can make the day like more useful. I'm trying to work out on my own in the garden or do some stuff like this, and that's it. I mean,
you said that you haven't picked up a racket in how long?
In a week.
Jeez, that. Even though a week is not like a very long time for a professional, that seems like a lifetime.
Yeah, and I kind of miss it, but I'm actually also struggling with some injuries, so I'm trying to recover from that, which is, I mean, I can use this time to recover and get my shape up and get ready for whenever we continue going on tournaments and stuff. So this is kind of positive that I have some time to do this. But, yeah, I don't know when I'm going to go on court and hit some balls.
All right, so enough about the coronavirus. Let's talk about something positive. And before we started this interview, I asked you if you Googled yourself, and your answer was?
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, obviously. Who doesn't Google themselves?
Is that just because you're curious to find out what other people say about you, or is that just in general?
No, usually I do it when I'm bored, like when I don't have anything else to do. So hits my mind that I'll just type my name in Google and see what happens.
see what comes up, right?
Yeah, right.
All right. So is it true your middle name is Rebecca?
Yeah.
Can you spell it? I just want to know if it's the right spelling.
Rebeka.
Okay, that's what it says on Wikipedia. You've won the U.S. Open Junior title, and you've won doubles with Fanny at Wimbledon, I should say.
Yeah.
What was that? After that, what kind of pressure did you feel like that was put on you? Did you have any pressure after that, or was it kind of just a platform?
Right after I won it, I was kind of in a flow. Mm-hmm. So I went on some pro tournaments, and I had my first 25K title right after that. So it really helped my confidence, that's for sure. And the year after, I started really bad. And that put a lot of pressure on me because they were obviously waiting for me to go up like that. But it's not. I mean, not everybody works like that. Mm-hmm. So it was tough. But then I had another good end of the year. So then I made the qualies of the Grand Slams in 2017. Mm-hmm. And since then, I'm pretty much struggling again.
Is that from injuries, or is that... I don't know how... When I ask that, I feel very... Not I feel bad, but just it's hard to answer that question when you ask someone, oh, what do you think it is? Or, what can you fix, you know? When people ask a professional athlete.
Yeah. Well, I had a few injuries, so that didn't help, that's for sure. Also, my private life was not on top. So that didn't help either. And these things just came up one another, and I just couldn't focus that much on my game, and then it just happened.
No, and it's difficult when people ask a professional athlete what it's like to actually be in your position, because it's not just like a quick fix and I've been paused. I feel like in sports, you have teams and you have coaching staffs. For you, it's just you. And I think that's what people don't understand when it comes to that kind of team mentality. Yeah. My next question for you was probably when I met you and your coach Bastian, I asked you guys what made you guys click in the first half, like when you first started pairing. And I just wanted to get your thoughts of what it was like to pick him and to pick a coach over others, and what makes a coach and player relationship work in that sense.
Well, we started 2019 January because the year before, the end of the year, I felt like I needed some kind of change. Even I was thinking to go abroad and go to an academy or something. Mm-hmm. But then I just remembered that one time I was on a trial week or a couple of days at Myrtle Blues, and he was the coach that was actually working with me at that time, and we both enjoyed it. I mean, we had some good practices, we had some good talks, but I didn't go to the academy, and I didn't see him for 2 years. But then I was thinking I might ask him what he's doing at that time, and he said that he's not at the academy anymore, so we started working. And it was something new for me. I went to France sometimes. It really helped me to get out of the routine I was getting used to, staying at home, practicing at home. And well, I don't know, the chemistry is working. You cannot really explain how this works, that how do you click with your coach, but if the chemistry is working and you get along not even on the court, but off the court as well, then it can be a good thing.
And I think he'll really like this question I'm about to ask is, what is one thing that he has helped you or made you better at when it comes to being a tennis player? What can you attribute to a coach, his help? And he's really going to thank me for this.
For sure. Well, actually, he helped me a lot technically, which is weird because I thought I didn't have anything new to learn technically, but all the basic stuff, like put your preparation a little bit earlier. And I haven't thought about that for like before. And it helped me a lot in my game. Trying to focus on that. We worked on my footwork a lot, how to not be like quicker on the court, but like move smarter, like trying to save some time and energy. So he was really good at that, like teaching me that, and of course mentally, because Hungarian mentality is not the best, I can tell you. And all the Hungarian people can agree with me. So I had a lot to work. I still have a lot to work on that. But he's helping me a lot.
Good. I'm glad. I really hope no one from Hungary attacks me for what you just said. So I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope.
Yeah.
And when we first met, we met in Houston last year at 125K, and I think one of the most interesting conversations we had, and I wanted to bring it up now, was the idea of sponsorship and just the overall mentality of getting sponsorship. And even though you might have a presence on social media, it's different when you may be verified, but you still have a smaller amount of followers compared to some. So I think the last time I checked, you had probably 7,500 followers, something like that. But you're verified, so people would think that you have the opportunity to get more recognition or to get more sponsorship. And can you talk about kind of the struggle of it? Because you may be verified, but it's just a completely different mentality when you're, I guess, lower ranked.
That's right. I mean, I don't have. I have a racket sponsor, which is really good, and it's really helping me. I have some friends, people helping me with financially, but it's not enough. I mean, I have to fund myself. I mean, which I'm earning at tournaments, I have to use them. So it's not easy. Well, I'm from Hungary, which is a small country, and not like a huge marketplace for brands. So I think that is one of the reasons why I don't get many offers. And I'm not inside of top 200. I'm pretty close, but still not. And probably that's why they're not that interested in me.
Would you say it was different when you won Junior Wimbledon and when you won Junior Wimbledon with Fanny and when you won the Junior U.S. Open? Was there what was that time like versus now? I would say in terms of people reaching out to you.
Well, that time I was pretty famous in Hungary because I was the only person who won Junior U.S. Open. Actually, I was the person who complete the Grand Slam for Hungary, because we had because we had the Australian Open champion, Roland Garros, and Wimbledon champion, but no U.S. Open. So
look at you.
Yeah, I know. I made history once. Yeah, so that felt really good. And after that, the media was all about me, and I got some offers, but not like huge offers because I was still 17.
Yeah.
And juniors. But then the future was looking bright. Not comparing now, but
it still looks bright.
It's different.
You can be a little bit positive.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting there, just slowly.
Slowly. So what talents have you learned at home so far now that you've been quarantined?
I learned to throw my dog's pig with the left hand.
Good. The sheer
Pretty
athleticism is fantastic.
This is a beautiful pig which doesn't have ears and the leg.
This is quality content. This is what people subscribe to my channel for.
I know. That's his favorite one. And yeah, pretty much that's it.
Also, do you bake?
Yeah, I do. Now I have a lot of time to do that.
What is this? What did you bake in this photo on Instagram?
Which one?
The donut bread.
Yeah, that's a donut.
Are those donuts?
Yeah, that's like the Hungarian style donut.
Does it taste like anything, or is it just bread?
Yeah, it tastes like donut. It just doesn't have a hole in it like you Americans do it.
Well, hey, our donuts are delicious.
I know.
You may not eat them all the time, but our donuts are delicious.
I know. I like them too, don't worry.
Okay. So, I actually want to ask you this because I don't think I ever asked you this before. Has anyone recognized you on the street?
Well...
Did you ever have that super fame where it's like... You said...
Stop me?
Yeah, like when someone stops you in the street or... Because you had decent media attention when you...
Yeah.
After you won both, you were on TV, you did multiple interviews that I tried to understand, and I could not because I don't speak Hungarian. It's very difficult, I will say that.
Why? It's so easy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, that time, it happened a couple times. Not many, but like a few.
A few?
Yeah.
Did you feel like a rock star afterwards, or no?
No, I'm not like that. I mean, I never felt like it.
Okay.
I'm the person who always tried to stay in the ground whatever happens.
Okay.
So
more humble.
So, yeah, I would say that.
You also played for Fed Cup at a really young age, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was that like? I feel because representing your country at that age, I feel like it's just the biggest honor that you could, especially for Fed Cup.
Yeah, it was a huge thing for me, and even I got to play on my first Fed Cup appearance. So
really,
yeah. Well, I lost 6-1, 6-1 because I kind of pissed my pants. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, we were in Hungary, and there were a lot of people coming out supporting us. I just made semis of Australian Open Juniors, and yeah, they came to see like, what is this girl doing in juniors? Can she play with the pros now? And then this happened.
Who'd you play?
Ivana Jarovic.
Okay.
From Serbia.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she was really good she's still good, but that time she had a good season, I think. Well, yeah.
I pissed my pants. Jesus Christ. My God. That's funny. And go ahead.
Well, not like really, obviously.
Yeah.
That was just a way of saying it.
No, I understand. I think everyone understands when you say that. Okay. Do you dress up your dog, don't you?
I did once.
Once. I think you've done it more than once, though.
No, I've done it only once. My sister did it all the time, but that was not me. I'm not a fan, though.
You're not a fan of dressing up dogs?
No.
Okay.
No.
The Christmas photo is pretty cute, though. I will give you that.
Yeah, but that's just like a bow tie. That's nothing.
Do you think dogs should be dressed up like humans?
No, obviously.
Just making sure, because I feel like, well, he does look adorable in this photo, but at the same time, your sister puts him in like actual sweaters.
No.
Okay.
He just has like a raincoat when it's raining. That's it.
What?
What?
A raincoat? Dogs love water, don't they? Why do you put a raincoat on them?
We don't want to like bathe him like every time we go out in the rain. No, like seriously.
What, do you put like one of those hats with the little umbrella on top, and you put that on him too? Okay.
No. It's like it really looks like a raincoat.
Oh, okay. You'll have to send me that later, because I would love to see him in a raincoat. Just because.
Okay, I will.
Did you? Back to the tennis side of this interview.
Okay.
Who got you started, by the way, in this world?
My dad.
Was he a professional?
No. He owns a couple tennis courts.
Okay.
And he's a tennis coach actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with him. I kind of grew up next to the tennis courts, so it was obvious that one day I'm gonna ask him to teach me.
Of course.
But yeah.
And how would you? Was he your first coach too, right?
Yeah.
What was?
For quite a long time, until I was 13.
Okay. What made you switch? Do you think it was just time to kind of transition? Because I think a lot of people.
It was actually not me.
Really?
Who thought? Yeah. He told me that he's not enough anymore, so we should find another option.
Okay.
And then he moved with me to Budapest.
Okay.
To practice there with another coach. He was still helping me,
Mm-hmm.
but we had another coach, and then yeah.
Do you think parents make good?
Sorry?
What were you gonna say?
He's still traveling with me sometimes.
Okay.
And I really like it when he's with me. Usually that's when I'm the most what's the word? I just forgot it. Successful. Yeah.
There it is. Great.
Yeah.
Just like gedunk.
My brain's just stopped.
No, it's okay. I'm trying to remember the one Hungarian word I learned in Houston, which is gedunk, and I still don't know how to spell it.
It was almost good.
It was almost good? Great. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm learning. Do you think parents make good coaches, or do you think they should leave it to someone else?
Usually not. I was pretty lucky with my dad,
Mm-hmm.
but I saw some other parents getting involved, and those were not healthy relationships. So I don't really support this.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because, for example, my dad knew when he had to stop, when he was not enough anymore. But I see that other parents, they kind of let it go.
Mm-hmm.
They always want to stay there. They always want to control, and that's not always a good idea. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are a few examples which worked out pretty well, mm-hmm. but that's the less. So.
No, that's true. I think one example that we're looking at right now is Sophia Kenin and her dad, who you actually beat at the U.S. Open Junior for the U.S. Open Junior title. So there's your claim to fame. You beat the Australian Open champion. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. For my next question, I have to ask you, for the rest of the year, if it's still happening, what is your goal to kind of finish off the rest of the year?
Well,
Pablo.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough question now because we don't know how to plan it.
That's true.
Yet.
So how would you? The mentality for you is to still be prepared for this, or you kind of?
Yeah, of course. I'm probably gonna start preparing in like a week, or if we get another information, like they're getting the tournaments canceled,
Yeah.
then I don't know. We have to improvise.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but I'm gonna keep practicing. I'm gonna keep doing my thing, trying to stay in shape, and then see what happens.
Do you have any questions for me?
Okay, well, let me think. That might be a long time for me thinking about
Oh, is that too hard of a question for you?
Yeah, I want to ask something what I really want to know.
What do you really want to know?
How did you feel when I know it was a really big thing for you to go to Indian Wells.
Yeah.
And then they just canceled it while we were already there. So how did you feel about that?
I really don't know. Like, for me at least, it was. Thank you for asking that question. That was a really good question. I think I was at dinner, and there were players in the restaurant as well. And when it happened, every player just looked at each other, kind of in awe, because nothing really affected anyone until it affected the tennis world. And I think when it came to that, it was very eye-opening, and you could feel how crazy it was for people to just be a part of it after flying into Indian Wells, being there for a week, and then a day before the tournament, it kind of just collapses. So not even for tennis players, I think for tennis media in that sense, it's kind of like, what do you talk about for the next 6 weeks? So that's why I am very grateful for talking to you and hopefully talking to other players during this time, because what else do you have to do?
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
and I love being put on pause for the third time in this interview because I just love.
10%, just saying.
Okay. Sorry, am I bothering you? But yeah. So I want to thank Dalma for joining us today, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to us during this time. So stay safe. Hopefully get prepared for what's to come, and I hope to see you soon, hopefully down the road on the tour, if it's still happening this year.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.